Hello, everybody. It's Carmen Nardini. I am coming to you this Monday to read for the 52-week Bible study, Exodus 37 through 40. We're ending Exodus today. Um, and I am reading from the Living Bible Paraphrased, a thought for thought translation. All right. Exodus 37. Next, Bezaleel made the ark. This was constructed of acacia wood and was 3 3/4 feet long, 2 1/4 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet high. It was plated with pure gold inside and out and had a molding of gold all the way around the sides. There were 4 golden rings fastened into its 4 feet, 2 rings at each end. Then he made poles from acacia wood and overlaid them with gold and put the poles into the rings at the sides of the ark to carry it. Then from pure gold he made a lid called the Place of Mercy. It was 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide. He made 2 cherubim of beaten gold and placed them at the 2 ends of the golden lid. They were molded so that they were actually a part of the golden lid. It was all one piece. The cherubim faced each other with outstretched wings that overshadowed the Place of Mercy, looking down upon it. Then he made a table using acacia wood, 3 feet long, 1.5 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet wide, or feet high. It was overlaid with pure gold, with a golden molding all around the edge. A rim 4 inches high was constructed around the edges of the table with a gold molding along the rim. Then he cast 4 rings of gold and placed them into the 4 table legs, close to the molding to hold the carrying poles in place. Next, using pure gold, he made the bowls, flagons, dishes, and spoons to be placed upon this table. Then he made the lampstand, again using pure beaten gold. Its base, shaft, lamp holders, and decorations of almond flowers were all of one piece. The lampstand had 6 branches, 3 from each side. Each of the branches was decorated with identical carvings of blossoms. The main stem of the lampstand was similarly decorated with almond blossoms, a flower on the stem beneath each pair of branches, also a flower below the bottom pair and above the top pair, 4 in all. The decorations and branches were all one piece of pure beaten gold. Then he made the 7 lamps at the ends of the branches, the snuffers, and the ashtrays, all of pure gold. The entire lampstand weighed 107 pounds, all pure gold. The incense altar was made of acacia wood. It was 18 inches square and 3 feet high, with its corner horns made as part of the altar so that it was all one piece. He overlaid it all with pure gold and ran a gold molding around the edge. 2 gold rings were placed on each side. Beneath this molding, 2 hold the carrying poles. The carrying poles were gold-plated acacia wood. Then, from sweet spices, he made the sacred oil for anointing the priests and the pure incense using the techniques of the most skilled perfumers. 38. The burnt offering altar was also constructed of acacia wood. It was 7.5 feet square at the top and 4.5 feet high. There were 4 horns at the 4 corners, all of one piece with the rest. This altar was overlaid with bronze. Then he made bronze utensils to be used with the altar: the pots, shovels, basins, meat hooks, and fire pans. Next, he made a bronze grating that rested upon a ledge about halfway up in the firebox. 4 rings were cast for each side of the grating to insert the carrying poles. The carrying poles themselves were made of acacia wood, overlaid with bronze. The carrying poles were inserted into the rings at the side of the altar. The altar was hollow with plank siding. The bronze wash basin and its bronze pedestal were cast mirrors donated by the women who assembled at the entrance to the tabernacle. Then he constructed the courtyard. The south wall was 150 feet long. It consisted of drapes woven from fine twined linen thread. There were 20 posts to hold drapes. The base is of bronze and with silver hooks, and rods. The north wall was also 150 feet long, with 20 bronze posts and bases and with silver hooks and rods. The west side was 75 feet wide. The walls were made from drapes supported by 10 posts and bases and with silver hooks and rods. The east side was also 75 feet wide. The drapes at either side of the entrance were 22.5 feet wide, each with 3 posts and 3 bases. All the drapes making up the walls of the court were woven of fine twined linen. Each post had a bronze base, and all the hooks and rods were silver. The tops of the posts were overlaid with silver, and the rods to hold up the drapes were solid silver. The drapery can't get that one, sorry. Covering the entrance to the court was made of fine twined linen, beautifully embroidered with blue, purple, and scarlet thread. It was 30 feet long and 7.5 feet wide, just the same as the drapes composing. It was supported by 4 posts with 4 bronze bases and with silver hooks and rods. The tops of the posts were also silver. All the nails used in constructing the tabernacle and court were bronze. This summarizes the various steps in building the tabernacle to house the ark, so that the Levites could carry on their ministry. All was done in the order designated by Moses and was supervised by Ithamar, the son of Aaron, the priest. Bezalel, son of Uri, and grandson of Hur, of the tribe of Judea, was the master craftsman, assisted by Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. He too was a skilled craftsman and also an expert at engraving, weaving, and at embroidering blue, purple, and scarlet threads into fine linen cloth. People brought gifts of 3,140 pounds of gold, all of which was used throughout the tabernacle. The amount of silver used was 9,575 pounds, which came from the 50-cent head tax collected from all those registered in the census who were 20 years old or older, a total of 603,550 men. The bases for the frames of the sanctuary walls and for the posts supporting the veil required 9,500 pounds of silver, 95 pounds for each socket. The silver left over distraction. The silver left over was used for the posts and to overlay their tops and for the rods and hooks. The people brought 7,540 pounds of bronze, which was used for casting the bases for the posts at the entrance to the tabernacle, and for the bronze altar, the bronze grating, the altar utensils, the bases for the posts supporting the drapes enclosing the court, and for all the nails used in the construction of the tabernacle and the court. 39. Then for the priests, the people made beautiful garments of blue, purple, and scarlet cloth, garments to be used while ministering in the holy place. The same cloth was used for Aaron's sacred garments, in accordance with the Lord's instruction to Moses. The ephod was made from this cloth too, woven from fine twined linen thread. Bezalel beat gold into thin plates and put it into wire threads to work into the blue, purple, and scarlet linen. It was a skillful and beautiful piece of workmanship when finished. The ephod was held together by shoulder straps at the top and was tied down by an elaborate one-piece woven sash made of the same gold, blue, purple, and scarlet cloth cut from fine twined linen thread, just as God had directed Moses. The 2 onyx stones attached to the 2 shoulder straps of the ephod were set in gold, and the stones were engraved with the names of the tribes of Israel, just as the initials are engraved upon a ring. These stones were reminders to Jehovah concerning the people of Israel. All this was done in accordance with the Lord's instructions to Moses. The chest piece was a beautiful piece of work, just like the ephod, made from the finest gold, blue, purple, and scarlet linen. It was a piece 9 inches square, doubled over to form a pouch. There were 4 rows of stones across it. In the first row were a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. In the second row were an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. In the third row were a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. In the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper, all set in gold filigree. The stones were engraved like a seal with the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. To attach the chestpiece to the ephod, a gold ring was placed at the top of each shoulder strap of the ephod, and from these gold rings 2 strands of twined gold attached to gold clasps on the top corners of the chestpiece. 2 gold rings were also set at the lower edge of the chestpiece on the underside next to the ephod. 2 other gold rings were placed low on the shoulder straps of the ephod, close to where the ephod joined its beautifully woven sash. The chestpiece was held securely above the beautifully woven sash of the ephod by tying the rings of the chestpiece to the rings of the ephod with a blue ribbon. All this was commanded to Moses by the Lord. The main part of the ephod was woven olive blue, and there was a hole at the center, just as in a coat of mail, for the head to go through, around the edge, so that it would not tear. Pomegranates were attached to the bottom edge of the robe. These were made of linen cloth, embroidered with blue, purple, and scarlet. Bells of pure gold were placed between the pomegranates along the bottom edge of the skirt, pomegranates alternating all around the edge. This robe was worn when Aaron ministered to the Lord, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Robes were now made for Aaron and his sons from fine twined linen thread. The chestpiece, the beautiful turbans, and the caps and the underclothes were all made of this linen, and the linen belt was beautifully embroidered with the blue, purple, and scarlet threads, just as Jehovah had commanded Moses. Finally, they made the holy plate of pure gold to wear on the front of the turban, engraved with the words, "Consecrated to Jehovah." It was tied to the turban with a blue cord, just as the Lord had instructed. And so at last the tabernacle was finished, following all of the Lord's instructions to Moses. Then they brought the entire tabernacle to Moses: furniture, clasps, frames, bars, posts, bases, layers of covering for the roof and sides, the ram skins dyed red, the specially tanned goat skins, and the entrance drape, the ark with the 10 commandments in it, the carrying poles, the place of mercy, the table and all its utensils, the bread of the presence, the pure gold lampstand with its lamps, utensils, and oil, the golden altar, the anointing oil, the sweet incense, the curtain door of the tabernacle, the bronze altar, the bronze grating, the poles and the utensils, the wash basin and its base, the drapes for the walls of the court and the posts holding them up, the bases and the drapes at the gate of the court, the cords and nails, all the utensils used there in the work of the tabernacle. They also brought for his inspection the beautifully tailored garments to be worn while ministering in the holy place, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest and those for his sons to be worn when on duty. So the people of Israel followed all the Lord's instructions to Moses, and Moses inspected all their work and blessed them because it was all as the Lord had instructed him. 40. The Lord now said to Moses, "Put together the tabernacle on the first day of the first month. In it, place the ark containing the 10 commandments, and install the veil to enclose the ark within the Holy of Holies. Then bring in the table and place the utensils on it, and bring in the lampstand and light the lamps. Place the golden altar for the incense in front of the ark. Set up the drapes at the entrance of the tabernacle, and place the altar for burnt offerings in front of the entrance. Set the wash basin between the tabernacle tent and the altar and fill it with water. Then make the courtyard around the outside of the tent and hang the curtain door at the entrance to the courtyard. Take the anointing oil and sprinkle it here and there upon the tabernacle and everything in it, upon all of its utensils and parts and all the furniture to hallow it, and it shall become holy. Sprinkle the anointing oil upon the altar of burnt offering and its utensils, sanctifying it, for the altar shall then become most holy. Then anoint the wash basin and its pedestal, sanctifying it. Now bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance of the tabernacle and wash them with water. And clothe Aaron with the holy garments and anoint him, sanctifying him to minister to me as a priest. Then bring his sons and put their robes upon them, and anoint them as you did their father, that they may minister me as priests. Their anointing shall be permanent from generation to generation. All their children and children's children shall forever be my priests. So Moses proceeded to do all as the Lord had commanded him. On the first day of the first month in the second year, the tabernacle was put together. Moses erected it by setting its frames into their bases and attaching the bars. Then he spread the coverings over the framework and put on the top layers, just as the Lord had commanded him. Inside the ark, he placed the stones of the 10 Commandments engraved on them and attached the carrying poles to the ark and installed the golden lid, the place of mercy. Then he brought the ark into the tabernacle and set up the veil to screen it, just as the Lord had commanded. Next, he placed the table at the north side of the room outside the veil, and set the bread of the presence upon the table before the Lord, just as the Lord had commanded. And he placed the lampstand next to the table on the south side of the tabernacle. Then he lighted the lamps before the Lord, following all the instructions, and placed the golden altar in the tabernacle next to the veil, and burnt upon it the incense made from sweet spices, just as the Lord had commanded. He attached the curtain at the entrance of the tabernacle and placed the outside altar for the burnt offerings near the entrance, and offered upon it a burnt offering and a meal offering, just as the Lord had commanded him. Next he placed the wash basin between the tent and the altar and filled it with water so that the priests could use it for washing. Moses and Aaron's sons washed their hands and feet there. Whenever they walked past the altar to enter the tabernacle, they stopped and washed, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he erected the enclosure surrounding the tent and the altar and set up the curtain door at the entrance of the enclosure. So at last Moses finished the work. Then the cloud covered the tabernacle, and the glory of the Lord filled it. Moses was not able to enter because the cloud was standing there, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Whenever the cloud lifted and moved, the people of Israel journeyed onward following it. But if the cloud stayed, they stayed until it moved. The cloud rested upon the tabernacle during the daytime, and at night there was fire in the cloud, so that all the people of Israel could see. This continued throughout all their journeys. And that is the end of Exodus. I will be moving on to Leviticus next week. All right, see you then.